Liftoff will start in T-minus 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition.
It's time! Seconds from game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan, open, Chicago with the lead! Behind the screen, Harper got a piece of it, it comes off. The Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship. Tying run at second, 2 out, Palmero over the head of Jenks. Uribe charges, throws, out! And the White Sox have won the World Series.
To the far side around the 8-yard line to Hester. Under it, into the middle of the 15, to the 20, breaks free of the 25, to the 30, to the outside, 40, midfield, 40, 30 to the coast, 20, 15, Hester 5.
For the 3rd time in 6 seasons, it's one goal team. The Chicago Blackhawks win the Stanley Cup. A little bouncer slowly toward Bryant. He will glove it toward Rizzo. It's in time, and the Chicago Cubs win the World Series.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome to ShawnSierraSports on Sports Zone Chicago. I'm your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra. Thanks for tuning in. If you're watching us on Facebook Live, well, then I guess you found us on Facebook. What the heck is on my face? The heck is on my face? Little fuzzy. I guess you found us on Facebook, and if you're not following us on Facebook, what? Come on, baby. Go to Facebook, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the like button, and now you're following Sports Zone Chicago. Simple. But wait, there's more. Make sure you go to YouTube. If you're watching us on our YouTube channel, excellent. And if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, for real, come on, guys. Go to YouTube, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the subscribe button, but also click the notification button. That's the little bell next to it, and that'll let you know anytime a show from Sports Zone Chicago is going live. Get it? Got it? Good. Now, you can also tweet the show. Tweet us at Sports Zone Shy. That's CHI at Sports Zone Shy. Now, if you want to follow me, just me personally online. You want to know what I did? Let me tell you what I did. I made it nice and easy for you folks. Nice and easy. One handle for Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok. All one handle at the Shawn Sierra. Man, we got a great show, but I need you to get interactive. So whatever platform you're watching us on, leave a question or comment on that platform. It'll come up here on the screen. We'll put it up on the show. I'm sorry, it'll come up in the thread. We'll put it up on the screen. We'll incorporate it into the show. And that, my peoples, is what makes this the best morning Chicago sports talk show around. And that's you. So bring them all, baby. Questions, comments, smart-ass remarks, because ain't nobody skirt over here. Like The Rock said, baby, don't sing it. Just bring it. You know what it is, baby. You see Bears Victory Monday. I got my Bears Victory chain. That's what I'm talking about. Man, let's check out the chat. It's jumping already. My man Armando Emeterio Lara Jr. is in the house. He's like, bear down, baby. And FGB. That's what I'm talking about, baby. My man Black Diamond checking in. Says, Mondo, we whooped their ass, didn't we? Yes, we did, doctor. He says, oh, and top of the morning, gang. FGB. Yes, baby. Yes. Levette Lee's checking in. Hey, mama, thank you for tuning in. She says, happy House Music Monday, y'all. FGB. That's what we're talking. I love it. Michelle Walls at the Mickey Vicky house. What up on a victory? Bears Victory Monday. Bear down. FGB. This is awesome. This is awesome. Michelle Walls, Mr. Southside says, yo, Junior Black Diamond, salute. Bear down. FGB. The vet says, what's up, Shawn? What's up, mama? How are you? Man, listen, I don't know a lot about a lot, but I do know this. More of the usual suspects will chime in as the show goes on. That, my peoples, I can promise you. Listen, we got a great show for you, man. My man Ken Davis is in the house today. He's joining us at 10 o'clock, talking all things Bears. Levette, stop your nonsense. See, it was going great, Levette. So you had to do this nonsense. Stop it. Stop it. Where was I before I was so rudely interrupted? My man Ken Davis is going to join us at 10 o'clock, talking all things Bears. Want to get his perspective and see what he thinks. See what he thinks about the ass whipping last night. And it's interesting. See, here's the one thing that I got to do a better job of tweeting. Like when I think something, I got to tweet it. Because the thing I was saying yesterday, I said, you know what? I said, we got to come out with a play action pass first play of the game. We got to come out with it. I'm like, because we ran the ball a lot in the scrimmage. We threw the ball a lot. I'm like, so they're thinking, they understand Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson wants to set the tone and run the ball. Okay, cool. Come at you with play action. What they do? Went after him with play action. First play of the game, just like I had expected or wanted Ben Johnson to run. So I was like, hats off, coach. Good job. Good play call. Got a first. I don't know if we got a first down, if we got 9 yards. We were 9 or 10 yards on that first play. Awesome. Yesterday's game was I don't want to get too much into it yet, but it was a Ben Johnson kind of showing his ass. He's like, look, here's what I got. I'm telling you, remember when this is why I love doing what I do, and I'm fortunate to have my experience. Because didn't I tell you Ben Johnson is like a Belichick? Okay? He's not going to, he's been very upfront and honest. All right, but especially about when things aren't going well. He doesn't have a problem with it. All right, just like Belichick. Belichick would always say, you know what? Well, they say, oh, well, you won by such and such. He goes, yeah, well, we had an issue here, and, we got to get that cleaned up and blah, 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 blah. So he's got no problem putting people on blast. Okay? No problem. But didn't I also say at one point, I'm like, listen, I said, the Bears have been going up against the same people. I said, when they go up against a different team, things are going to look a lot different. It didn't manifest itself last week, but it sure as hell manifested itself this week. I said, they're not used to the Bears' schemes, the individual battles. Okay, you don't know the strengths and weaknesses of the guy that you've been going against since April or May? Was it draft? April, about a week later. So April. Okay, remember when I said that? I said it's going to look a lot cleaner. And what did it do? It looked a lot cleaner yesterday. A lot. And it's just a situation where, you keep going against the same people and they know, they understand you. They know you, your strengths, weaknesses, tendencies, habits. They understand them. You go up against a team that doesn't know them. Wow. So it was a great game yesterday, a great opening couple series for the Bears. My man John checking in. What's up, Papa? How are you? So good morning, my man. Good morning, John. Thanks for tuning in, Papa. I appreciate you. It was just a good game. A good game. And listen, I'm not putting the Bears in the Super Bowl. Okay? It was a good game, and I understand Buffalo didn't play their starters at all. But you still got to go out there, and you have to execute. Because if Caleb didn't execute and didn't look as sharp as he did, what would people be saying this morning? Chicken Little, the sky is falling, the sky is falling, the sky is falling. Okay? If Caleb didn't look as sharp as he did. So let's appreciate it. It's still, you still got to block, you still got to tackle, and you're going up against guys who are literally fighting for their NFL lives and they're a spot on their team. King Booker World says, I'm waiting for the same folks that said Caleb was being hidden and will struggle to now say it's only the preseason. Can't have it your way. It ain't Burger King. You're damn right, King Booker World. Can't have it right. Or can't have it both ways. Just can't do it. Okay? Here's the one thing that I'm going to tell you that I really, really, really enjoyed. I enjoyed the fact that Caleb was able to command the huddle, get in and out of the huddle, execute, and he was on time with the ball. He was on time with the ball. Those pre-snap penalties that we've had were non-existent yesterday. And all it takes is time. Again, I'm not putting them in the Super Bowl. Just relax. I'm saying they looked a lot better, and they looked like it. They looked comfortable. Caleb looked in control. And that was one of the most important things to me, is that he came out and had control of his offense. John says, we've talked, and I'm not a fan of Caleb, going back to the defunct Pac-12 days. But if he shows up like this last weekend, he could be taking a huge next step this season. I agree, John. I agree. And that's the Ben Johnson effect. His footwork was great. I'm telling you, his foot quarterbacks, you can tell how great quarterbacks can be by their footwork. Great quarterbacks have amazing footwork. Even gunslingers like a Brett Favre or Aaron Rodgers have great footwork. His feet were on time. His feet weren't hurried. He was in control the entire 13, 14 plays that he was in. Okay? He was in control. And Ben Johnson showed his ass yesterday. He was like, listen, I'm tired of everybody talking all this shit about the Bears offense looking like crap, not developing, not looking a way that people want to. Let me show you something. Ben Johnson said, let me show you something. Great tight end play. If this is what's going to happen with the God-blessed tight ends, holy cow. Holy cow. If this is what's going to happen with our tight ends. Colston Loveland looked great, and we know Cole Kmet is a solid tight end. And if do you recall, what did I tell you about the Yak Monsters? What did I tell you about the Yak Monsters? Remember I said Luther Burden. He led all of NCAA last year in yards after catch. Rome Odunze. He led his last season at Washington. He led all receivers in receiving yards in the NCAA. Then you have DJ Moore. And we keep forgetting about Zacchaeus, OZ. I keep forgetting how to pronounce his name. But OZ, and all they've been talking about is how great a camp he had. Well, guess what? He just showed you Olamide. He showed you why he was having a great camp. And remember when I talked to you, I said, listen, I don't give a shit about Caleb's deep ball. I don't care. What do we talk about here? I said, get the ball to the playmakers and let them do the rest. Master that short to intermediate game. Let the playmakers, let the Yak Monsters, let the DJ Moore. Let the DJ Moores, let the Luther Burdens, let the Roma Dunzes, let the Olamide Zacchaeuses, let the Colston Lovelands, the Cole Kmets, the DeAndre Swifts, let them do the work. And that's what he did yesterday. Remember, I said he's got to take those singles and doubles. You ain't got to go deep all the time. Get it to your playmakers in stride and watch them make plays. What did he do today? Got it to his playmakers in stride and let them do the work. Craig Moorhead, what's up, Bob? Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. Is this the first time you're checking us out? If it is, I appreciate it. I don't recall the name before in the chat. Thank you very much, though. I appreciate it. It says Oz is going to be a problem. And Luther Burden 3, yes, sir, Bob. Yes, sir, Bob. King Booker World said that pass ultimated between the two defenders was pinpoint. It was in stride. And he said, you know what? Let me hop over. Black Diamond, yes. Lou Burden was a dog. His blocking was impeccable. Man, he had he just walled it off. He just collapsed that whole right side on that running touchdown. Beautiful. King Booker World said Burden was out there blocking his ass off. Hey, no block, no rock. That's what they said. No block, no rock. My standout player yesterday? Let me see. I'll tell you who it is. I was excited to see him. Listen. I was really excited to watch him. Ian Wheeler. A couple of runs you saw where he put his foot in the ground and just exploded through that hole. I'm telling you, I was very, very, very impressed with him. He's got that speed. He's got that hold your breath speed. You know, we're like, he got tripped up. Oh, he got pushed out about one of those hold your breath type of people. Britton Brown is another one. He had a really nice game as well. Deion Hankins, the running back, left with an injury, and he was doing some nice work as well. I give it to Ian Wheeler, but I must say, Steve-O says Ian Wheeler as well. I give it to Ian Wheeler, but I must say, because of what Ian Wheeler and Britton Brown were doing, that offensive line was putting in some work yesterday. That offensive line was putting in work. Cue up Kumo D. That offensive line was getting after it, man. And it was a great, great thing to see. Booker Wells said, didn't Wheeler just put a smile on your face knowing everything he went through? Yeah. And I hope he makes it somehow. I hope they keep 4 running backs. Maybe 5. You know what, Ian? Here's what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to be a special team star. You're going to have to do what Neil Anderson did. You remember? A lot of you may not be old enough to remember Neil Anderson. The Bears drafted Neil Anderson in like 86 or 87. They drafted him in 86. Let me see. Okay. Anyway, he couldn't get on the field. There was a guy named Walter something or other who was kind of blocking his path. Let me see. When did he? Here we go. We're going to look at it. 1986. So right after the Bears won the Super Bowl. He was drafted in 86. So he sat 2 seasons behind Walter. Remember, Walter retired in 87. And so because he couldn't get on the field because Walter, all right, he returned kicks and he covered kicks. He was a gunner, especially on the punt team, because he was fast. That joker was fast. You're damn right, King Booker, where I go to work, baby. Craven Moorhead, yes, you got it. He did punt returns and covered kicks. And he made a lot of special team tackles because he was a hell of a gunner. So Ian Wheeler, your best shot is on special teams, and make them keep you. Because I'll tell you what. If something goes down, that could be that you being on special teams and staying on the roster via special teams could be your way into a long NFL career. I'm not putting you in the Hall of Fame. I'm not putting you all pro. I'm just saying a nice long NFL career. Once you, if they don't need you here after a while, man, some other team picks you up. You get some nice tape in here, man. Heck yeah. And you do some special teams work, yeah. So I liked Ian Wheeler. I liked the run game yesterday. I really like Britton Brown. I was impressed with him. Guy they just picked up. What do you mean? See. Yeah, Steve-O says the Bajancy plays well too. I think Tyson Bagent. Listen, I'm gonna tell you this. I have no problems. If Moorhead. Oh, I get you. Graham Moorhead. Aren't we all? Aren't we all? If Caleb Williams goes down for any reason, for any amount of time, I am more than confident in Tyson Bagent stepping in and literally not skipping a beat. Not skipping a beat. I am more than confident. More than confident. He's a great soldier. He's a great soldier. A talented young man. But he's a great soldier. The Plankster is checking in. What's up, Papa? It's a happy Victory Monday, baby. Good morning, Shawn. Chat. Bear down. FGB. Black Diamond says, I have zero issue with this version of Tyson. Hell yeah, he looks good. I'm telling you, remember, this guy threw a record. He broke all kinds of records. He was the Division II Player of the Year. Division II Heisman Trophy winner, basically. This kid, he's thrown more passes. He had, 400 and something pass attempts his last 2 years? Are you kidding me? 400? Like, dude, that's crazy. Come on, man. College stats. Let's get his college stats. Here, we'll go Football Reference. No. Okay. Here we go. College stats for Tyson Bagent. Holy shit. Look at this. This is crazy. Tyson Bagent. So he played 5 years. Don't forget, COVID was in there. So In 2018, his rookie year, his freshman year, he was 253 out of 387. He threw 387 attempts. Okay. In 2019, 483 attempts. In 2020, 2021, the COVID year, he got hurt. So he only played in one game. 2021, he came back with a vengeance. 579 attempts in college for 5,000 yards. And 2022, 572 attempts. Tyson Bagent is the real deal. So if, for whatever reason, Caleb goes down, and I'm not wishing that on him at all. But if he goes down, I am super confident that Tyson can pick up the slack and keep this train rolling. Super confident. My man Ray's in the house. Ray Garcia's in the house. Coach Ray, what's up, Papa? Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. Oh, he's in the house. He's in the house. He's in the house. Mr. Shode is in the house. Top of the morning to you. Bear down. FGB, baby. FGB. Listen, I'll remind you again, but I just want to remind you quickly and make it a flyer. Hey, Steve-O, I talked to the dude yesterday. I was at Branding Iron watching the game, and I asked him for the logo. He said he'll send it to me today. We'll get the flyer. I'll get that over to you to make the flyer up. But don't forget, Sunday, September 14th, Sports Zone Chicago Bears watch party. It's at Branding Iron Sports Bar, 7026 South Harlem. It's in Bridgeview. It's right outside of SeatGeek Stadium. If you're familiar with the area, if you know where SeatGeek Stadium is, there's a small little strip mall right there. And in it is the Branding Iron. It's a sports bar. We're going to be in the back. They have a covered patio. It's called the Pavilion. So if you want if you like some smoking some cigars, you're free to do it out there. All right, we're going to have a pre, a half, and a post game show. It's going to be dope. It's going to be dope. If you're in the area, come on out, check us out. I guarantee you will enjoy. You'll enjoy us. Come out and meet your boy. We got a whole bunch of swag. I got to hop on the phone today with my guy who's producing the swag. And yes, I didn't forget. I'm going to do my damnedest to have that up by Friday. My guy John and I are going to meet on Wednesday. Maybe we can get a one-page thing for just for orders. But we're going to try and get that swag shop up. I'm going to have to be raffling off some items that day. Okay? T-shirts, hoodies, quarter zips, some really cool shit we're going to be raffling off. So make sure, Sunday, September 14th, Chicago Bears, Sports Zone Chicago's Bears watch party at Branding Iron. The Bears are in Motown. They're playing the Detroit Lions in Detroit that day. But we'll be at 71st in Harlem, kicking it, smoking some cigars, watching the game on multiple big screen TVs out in the back. Okay. Along with a pre, half, and post game show with me and some of the smoke fellas. All right. Just want that in your forefront. Oh, snap. Black Diamond, you're a fool. He goes, I already submitted my vacation day for Monday. I will be there. That's awesome. That's what I'm talking about, baby. See, preparation. Preparation. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. You don't want to look bad at work. So, like, you know what? I ain't going to go. Good job, Black Diamond. Hey, I can't wait to meet you, boss. Cornelius Squalls, what up, what up, what up, sports? Shawn Sierra Sports fans, FGB. Let's go. Oh, I'm telling you, it's going to be one heck of a time. You're not going to want to miss it. But listen, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to take a quick break. I got to get the warden off to CrossFit. Okay. And then I come back. We are going to get to the top of the morning topics. We got to run through them because at 10 o'clock, my man Ken Davis is going to join us. We're going to talk all things Bears, get his thoughts on the massacre yesterday over on the lakefront. And mind you, the Bears, they're only in for 2 series, was it? Everything else was theirs. Our 2s against their 2s. And our 3s against their 3s. So the depth that we're seeing, the depth that we saw yesterday is very impressive to me. It's very impressive. And if you know anything about Ben Johnson, he has the Jimmy Johnson philosophy, which is, it's not my job to stop me from scoring. It's yours. It's not my job. Stop me from scoring. That's your job, buddy. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. Listen. Let's take that quick break. Keep it locked right here. Shawn Sierra Sports on Sports Zone Chicago.
Operator 901, where's the emergency?
127 Brynmere.
Okay, what's going on there?
I'd like to order a pizza for delivery.
Ma'am, you've reached 911. This is an emergency line.
Large with half pepperoni, half mushroom.
You know you've called 911. This is an emergency line.
Do you know how long it'll be?
Okay, ma'am, is everything okay over there? Do you have an emergency or not?
Yes.
And you're unable to talk because...
Right.
Okay, is there someone in the room with you? Just say yes or no.
Yes.
Okay, it looks like I have an officer about a mile from your location. Are there any weapons in your house?
No.
Can you stay on the phone with me?
No. See you soon. Thank you.
Every day, we take steps to keep the people we love safe. But some health risks are easy to miss. Ticks hiding in the yard can spread germs, like the ones that cause Lyme disease. Mice searching for food can spread bacteria that makes us sick. Mosquitoes lay eggs in standing water and can spread West Nile virus and more. Cockroaches are drawn to water in the home, leaving behind allergens that can trigger asthma attacks. Common pests can threaten our health. Learn how to protect your family at pestworld.org.
When I'm flying, I put my helmet on, my visor down, my mask up. You don't know who I am. Whether I'm African American, Asian American, Hispanic, white, male or female. You just know I'm an American airman kicking your butt. I'm General C.Q. Brown Jr. Come join us.
Do you know that you're in my lane? No, not at all. Are you not paying attention? Are you texting? I was just checking in with my mom. I was telling her that I thought we'd be home by 6. It's okay. There's enough time. Just pay attention. I'm not even halfway through my text. There's no way. I'm not even going to look up. My babies are in the car. You have to pay attention. It's just supposed to be a quick text. I'm so sorry.
Fans could get excited about signs from the defense in recent years, but can they get the offense? Pretty good start to this one. It's another tight end in Cole Kmet. 2nd and 15. Time to throw. Open tight end. Loveland again. Got 19 yards and a first down. Down for Chicago. 3rd and 5. Williams in. Rhythm again. There's Zacchaeus. And Olamide Zacchaeus takes it to the end zone for the Bears touchdown. Tell you what,
The Ben Johnson era, even though it's the preseason, couldn't have started. Watch the switch release here and what it does, creating leverage for Zacchaeus, and then it's just...
Welcome back to ShawnSierraSports on Sports Zone Chicago. Was that a thing of beauty or what? That video courtesy of Fox 32. Those were the monsters of the Midway on the lakefront yesterday. Man, oh man, oh man, was that freaking fun. Was that fun? Whew. And so who just put that? Yeah, Shorty, you're right. 38-0 feels good against a Super Bowl contender. Yes, it does. It does. It does. Let's get it cracking, baby. Let's get it crack-a-lacking. We got some stuff to do because at 10 o'clock, my man Ken Davis is going to join us. You know how we do the first segment of every show. It's called Top of the Morning.
It won't come just when you want it.
Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you.
So which way do we go? Which way do we go? We're going this way, baby. You know where we're going. We're starting right here. The Bears. And they won't choke like the Buffalo Bills. The Bears beat the Buffalo Bills 38-0 yesterday at Soldier Field. Caleb Williams, a very efficient 6 for 10, 107 yards, 1 tutty to 130 quarterback rating. Ian Wheeler, 19 carries, 80 yards, 2 tutties. All right. I'm telling you, the other running back that I was pretty happy, Britton Brown, he had 16 carries for 73 yards and a touchdown. Oladame Zacchaeus, 1 catch, 36 yards. You saw it coming out of the break for the tutty. Look at that. He's jumping. The safety's diving. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. You know what? I'm telling you, John Madden said it best, and I couldn't agree with him more. Let me take this down. He says, the NFL is just better when the Bears are good. And it is so true. When the Bears are good, the NFL is just better. The charter franchise, whooping ass, taking names. That's what we're talking about. Keep it moving. The next top of the morning topic, the Bears travel to KC. They have a very short week this week. They travel to Kansas City for the final preseason game on Friday. Kickoff is at 7:20 p.m. Central. You can catch it again on Fox 32 or listen to it on their flagship station, ESPN 1000. That's AM 1000. We'll talk more about that as the time draws near. The next top of the morning topic, yeah. Cubs take the rubber match and the series by beating the Pirates 4-3. 4-3. 1-2-3. Javier Assad, he started, got the no decision. He went 4 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 1 free pass, 3 punch outs. Ian Happ, 2 for 3 with a double, his 21st, driving in his 56th run of the year. Dansby Swanson was 1 for 3 with a double also, his 16th of the year, driving in his 56th and 57th runs of the year. Carson Kelly also had an RBI in the campaign. Okay, Cubs won the rubber match to take this series against the Padres. And they needed to. Minimum. They should have swept, but Friday, I don't know. I don't know if it was too much pressure or what the hell, but Friday just couldn't get it done. You know why they needed to get it done? Because of this. Keeping it moving to the next top of the morning topic. The Cubs open up a 5-game set today against the Brewers. All right, at the friendly confines. They got a doubleheader today. Game 1, first pitch is at 1:20 p.m. Central. All right, you can catch that game on the Marquee Network or listen to it on their flagship station, 670 a.m. The probables for Game 1 from Milwaukee. Freddie Peralta, he's 14-5 with a 2.90 ERA. Going up against Cade Horton, who's on the bump for the Northsiders. He's 7-3 with a 3.07 ERA. They got 5 games in the next 4 days against the Brew Crew. They can make some noise. They need at least 4 out of 5. Because the Cubs are 8 games back. If you 3 out of 5, You only gain a game, and you're only 7 games. Okay, so you need at least 4 out of 5, so you can have gain 3 games on the Brew Crew. Like I said, Freddie Peralta going up against Cade Horton. Game 2 tonight at 7:05 p.m. Central. You can catch that game on the Marquee Network or listen to it on their flagship station, 670 a.m. Probables, both teams have put TBD. So we'll have to find out. It'll be a game time decision for the starting pitchers for Game 2. See what we're talking about here. See, man, we got a lot of comments over here. I like it. I like it. I like it. Okay, someone's talking about Ty and my podcast is 4th in NFC North, but we prioritize depth for our most talented offensive lineman with the 56th overall pick. I don't think it's as bad as that looks. I don't think so. Cornelia says, drafting Ozzie will pay off in the long run because he will provide O-line depth while he develops. Science, my podcast says, what if Lovin is already better than Bowers? Pump the brakes on that a little bit. It's only a preseason game. I don't care if he's better than Bowers. What if he's just on par in the same conversation? We don't see, that's the thing. Let's not worry about he's better. He got the best. No. Let's worry about him. Let's worry about a whole bunch. Listen, Cub fans. And I don't know if Ty is my podcast, if you guys are Cub fans or not. But look at the Brewers. The Brewers have no superstars. And what are they doing? So I don't care right now if we have the best quarterback, the best running back, the best receiver, the best this, the best that. The only thing I really care about is a great offensive line. I don't even need the best left tackle, left guard, center, right guard. I don't care if we have the best of any of those. Give me a unit that works cohesively. And if you can put Loveland in a conversation with Bowers and Kittle and Laporta, okay, you can put him in that conversation, I'm good with it. He doesn't have to be the best. Just put him in that conversation. And we're going to have a whole bunch of top-tier talent on this offense. King Booker World, yeah, you're on him. You've been on him from Jump Street. Said, I like my flowers now about my OZ takes. Salute to you, sir. You've been on him all since training camp. Flowers. Craven Moorhead. Flower shape. I'm just reading some of the comments. Thomas, my podcast said, guys, it's okay to be mad at the draft pick not reaching the standard. Ozzie failed for left tackle in 2025, but he's still 2026. Yeah, listen. The one thing that I really hate, the Bears have done this a lot. You draft an offensive lineman and then move them. And not just from right tackle to right guard. Move from one side to the other so he's got to completely flip his mechanics. And what did Ben Johnson say? Ben Johnson talked a lot about his footwork, his speed, his foot speed. Well, because he's not used to what he's thinking. But I'll tell you what, if you give him more time there, and I know they put him back over to the right side, and they said his foot speed was fine on the right side. Well, duh. Muscle memory. But if you leave him on the left side, if this is the guy you want for your left tackle, then leave him there. Stop moving him. Stop moving him, because guess what? He's going to get better. Because Braxton Jones looks slow. He had the problem that I talked about. I said he did not have the ability to train, to lift, to squat, to hand clean, to deadlift. He didn't have that ability because he was rehabbing. He was coming off the ankle injury. And he needed to get stronger in his lower body, able to do so. So, Braxton, I wish you well. I know it wasn't your fault. And listen, but if you want Ozzie as your left tackle, then damn it, leave him at left tackle. And you ride with him. You ride it out. Because I guarantee you, if you ride it out next year, he's going to be a hell of a lot better left tackle. It's just muscle memory. And even if he doesn't start there, rotate him in. If you want Braxton Jones in there, or you want Theo Benedict in there, cool. But rotate this kid in. Get him some game time reps. Get him some game time reps. And guess what? He'll be going against, you put him in, he'll be fresher than that left defensive end, or the right defensive end, excuse me, over the left tackle, as the game goes on, because he's rotating. His success is going to gain him confidence. Craven Moorhead, you're right. He said not his fault they drafted him to play the left side when he was a right tackle in college. I agree. But I still think it's a failure. Again, if you rotate him in at the left side, whoever your left tackle is, rotate him with it in there, cool. Cornelius says, Armando, I was thinking about how many years the Cowboys have beaten the brakes off the Bears. Yeah. Did I put that? Did I say that? Yeah, I did. Yeah, Wheeler with 2 touchdowns. That was nice. Yeah, Thoughts my podcast. I'm not going to call him a bust or a failure. It's not. It's not. He hasn't even played a regular season game yet. All right, give him a chance. All right. Now he might not be as big. He might not have as big an impact as we would have liked. But then again, how many rookie left tackles start and play at a high level? It's going to be very few. All right, you're dealing with a lot of guys who are bigger, stronger, and faster than the people you played against. You're dealing with the best of the best. Even the best offensive tackles who get taken in the first round have their problems against some no-name defensive ends as well as big-time defensive ends. So it's not a failure. It's still a work in progress. But I understand your point in that he's not going to contribute to the level you'd like, but he's still a second rounder. He's not a first-round pick. All right, if he's a first-round pick, now that's a different story, but he's a second-round pick. We still got some top of the morning topics. Let's get through those. We're going to get bogged down with them. The next top of the morning topic, my boys falls to the Kansas City Royals 6-2, gets swept out of Kansas City. The White Sox are a 4-game skid right now. Davis Martin pitched one hell of a game, 6 innings, 1 hit ball, 3 walks, 4 punch outs. Got a no decision. Edgar Carroll was 2 for 4, driving in his 30th RBI of the season. Lenyn Sosa was 1 for 5 with a homer, his 16th on the campaign, driving in his 50th RBI of the season. No rest for the weary. No rest for the worry, because the next top of the morning topic, the White Sox travel to the ATL for 3 against the Braves. First pitch tonight is at 6:25 p.m. Central. You can catch that game on Chicago Sports Network or listen to it on their flagship station, ESPN 1000. That's 1000 AM. The probables for tonight's game for the good guys. Yoendris Gomez. He's on the bump for the good guys. He's 2-1 with a 5.56 ERA. He's going up against Spencer Strider for the Braves, who's 5-10 with a 4.69 ERA. Interesting. Keeping it moving. The next top of the morning topic, the sky. Excuse me while I kiss the sky. Sky hosts the Seattle Storm tomorrow at Wintrust Arena. Tip-off is at 7 p.m. Central. You can catch that game locally on the U, Channel 26, the U. Let's see what we got here in the comments. You said Isaac was drafted to be the 2025 left tackle, and he failed to accomplish that. Okay. I don't know if he did. What if he takes over the left tackle job in week 8, 10? Does that mean it's a failure? Here's why I have an issue with your thought process. We all have our talents. Okay. If you ask a fish to climb a tree, you're going to look at him as a failure. Can't climb a tree. That's not what he's asked. That's not his strength. He's playing right tackle. You're asking him to do something. So if anyone fails, it was the front office on making a right tackle a left tackle. No, I'm not going to yell at you, boss. I'm not going to yell at you. Said if Bodies takes over for left tackle in week 8 and never gives it up, I will come on ShawnSierraSports show and you can yell at me. I ain't trying to yell at you. I ain't trying to yell at you. We talk here, bro. We're adults. I ain't gonna yell. Say I was right. No. Oh, bro. It's all love. It's all good. Leo Factor checking in. What's up, Papa? How are you? He said, bear down. Good morning, everybody. Leo Factor's in the house. All I'm saying is don't use the word failure so soon. You know what I mean? That's all. I mean, what were people saying about Caleb 3 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago? You know what I mean? And I'll tell you what. Like I said, I think Ben Johnson, I was telling the guys at CrossFit this morning, I said, I think Ben Johnson showed his ass. I think he got a little salty with people. Everyone kept talking about how bad this offense looked, how bad Caleb looked, how bad, Caleb he was 7 for 21, and people with the stupid ass stats in training camp. In practice today, I told you guys, I said, remember the fact that you're going up against the same people all the time. From April, they know your strengths, they know your weaknesses, they know your tendencies. Come on. And again, I said, it's going to be different when you face a different team. And it did. It looked a lot different. First of all, they put up 24 points last week. Let's not get it twisted. They put up 24 points last week, 38 points this week. 2 more touchdowns this week than last week. Was that 50, 62 points? 62 points in 2 games. And the offense didn't play the first team didn't play in game 1. Okay? And the way they looked like in that first 2 series, man, that was a hot butter through knife in that first series. Woo! 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 Let me see. What was, and I wrote these notes down. He was 5 for 6 for 97 yards and a touchdown on that first drive. Craven Moorhead said, how about Ben letting Doyle and Al Harris call the offense and defense in the second half? Harris was blitzing his safeties a few times, seek and destroy. Well, this is where you do it. This is where you get your reps. All right, you know how players get their reps. You know how second and third string players get their reps. Okay, in preseason games and blowouts. Well, guess what? This was a preseason game and it was a blowout. So you're allowing them. They're getting game time experience. So what Ben Johnson is doing, Ben Johnson is creating his own tree. Ben Johnson is creating his own tree. Having Declan Doyle call some plays in the second half is giving him the confidence to do that. I was unaware of the fact that he was doing that. But if he was, Moorhead, then he's creating his own tree, which is dope. Al Harris, the same thing. You're grooming him to be the next great defensive coordinator. This is when you do it. All right, when you're up 20 or down 20. Okay, it's a preseason game. You're up 30-something. Man. So, good stuff. And I like that. And you know what? He may give those guys more opportunities next week. I'm sorry, this week. It's Friday. You know what I mean? So, I highly doubt that the starters are going to play. So you're going to have all backups. Everyone's fighting for a job. So we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. But listen, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break. On the other side of the break, we're going to welcome my mans in them. He's back, baby. Guess who's Bazak? My man Ken Davis is waiting. He's ready. He's hopping. He's doing a little hop, warming up, pop, 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 pop. Ready to come on out, rolling his head. So I'm going on. Like Julio says, our Chavez, he's ready. Get his jaw's gonna be flapping a little bit. So don't go anywhere, folks. My man Ken Davis on the other side of the break. Keep it locked right here. Shawn Sierra Sports on Sports Zone Chicago.
Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
How do you take care of your mind health?
For my mental health, I meditate in the mornings. I have my dogs. They're the best.
I just find ways that help me just relax.
Finding things that make me happy, like being close to my family.
I meditate a lot and read books.
I have hobbies outside of the game. I'm able to switch off. I'm able to turn my brain off from the game of basketball.
Your mind health matters.
Your mind health matters.
It's a romance sport. What? It's a romance sport like that.
Your Marine Corps' way of life is to defend the American way of life. Every day, no matter where we serve, we take a stand for our nation, for each other, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Everybody in a work zone is someone's somebody.
This is my mom. She works for KDOT.
This is my dad.
This is my mom.
This is my daddy.
This is my sister.
This is my daddy.
This is my son, Scott. He was killed while working in a highway work zone. When you drive through a work zone, drive like a life depends on it. Because it does.
As much anticipation about what you're going to see from the Bills offense tonight. Josh Allen will not play. They start off with Mike White at quarterback and they look to throw for it. Bagent steps up. Flag in the secondary. Man comes free for a first down. Maurice Alexander inside the 20. Chance it's at least going to be a wash, and decent chance they're going to be down 4 in the whole equation. Go back and score a touchdown. Speaking of scoring touchdowns, that's what Britton Brown does.
So we talked how high they were about Luther.
Second quarter. White steps up to throw and gets sacked. Andrew Billings there to bring down White and make it 4th down.
Yeah, big boy. That's what we missed last year. Andrew Billings collapsing the pocket. Woo, Charlie. You keep that up along with Grady Jarrett and Montez Sweat coming on the outside. Woo-wee. Welcome back to ShawnSierraSports on Sports Zone Chicago. Those clips courtesy of Fox 32 from the game last night. The Charter franchise on the lakefront. Literally, they whooped that candy ass of the Buffalo Bills yesterday. And I know they didn't play their starters. I know. But we only played our starters for 2 series. And we put up 7 points. The other 31 points came from our 2s against their 2s. So it was a good matchup. But listen, I'm tired of hearing me. Let's welcome this guy. He's a good friend of the program. All right. He is the former host of the Under Center podcast on NBC Sports Chicago. He's the host of That Davis Show. You can find him on Twitter at That's Davis. Man, my man's in them. Ken Davis.
I've heard people say that too much of anything is not good for you, baby. But I don't know about that. As many times as we've loved and we've shared love and made love, it doesn't seem to me like it's enough. It's just not enough for you.
Dave, what's up, Papa? How you doing?
What's going on, Shawn? What's going on?
Bears Victory Monday, baby. The Bears Victory chain is in full effect.
Hey, it was an easy victory. You mentioned it after that first touchdown. We was basically set with the starters, but it's definitely good to see what they did last night, even with the 2s going up against Buffalo's 2s and just shutting them out. It's what you want to see. It's still preseason. You know, I'm gonna put a little bit of shade on that bad boy. Not hating, but a few clouds because it is preseason, and you're talking about a team that has championship aspirations in Buffalo, and how much are they really looking to, like, we got to make a point or a statement, I should say, a statement versus the Bears in preseason. But still, in saying that, it's still a well-coached team, and the Bears blew them up yesterday. And even if one thing that's always good about preseason is checking out the depth. And one thing that I think for years, if you follow me on anything that I've talked about, depth has been an issue with the Bears. And it's good to see that, particularly in the trenches, that they have more depth because guys are going to go down. Even with what looks like the loss of definitely Terrell Smith, they have a lot of defensive back bodies, even though some of them are banged up now when you talking about Jalen and everybody else. But still, it's good to see. I mean, I'm a Ben Johnson guy, BJ guy. So I'm happy to see what he's doing. Relax.
Hey, did you see the guy in the comments, Craven Moorhead?
No, you're talking about the coaching with the
No, the guy. No, his name is Craven Moorhead.
You know what? That flew. That as long as many times as I've seen that, I've never very slick, very very slick.
You got me on that one too.
And Shorty is wilding in this bad boy. Hey, whatever. We can have a little fun. We can have a little pause.
No diddy. But talk to me about Caleb. Caleb looked, man, was it me? Am I exaggerating when I say that first drive, he looked like a 6-year vet?
What would I say? Well, I'm trying to really think of my initial thoughts. One, I'll say this. Yeah, I won't say 6-year, but I get what you're getting at. He seemed like he had caught up to the speed of the NFL. And one way that stood out to me, he looked faster through his motions, but he looked faster when he was being evasive. Like we saw last year, he was doing a lot of spins or whatever, but this is just knowing the speed of the league and knowing how fast those players are, but also now he's training like an NFL player. He wasn't, regardless of how well he thought he was training prior to entering the NFL, it's nothing like knowing what you're going up against and how you have to train in the speed of those players and seeing him be able to work through his processes, but seeing his mobility. To me, he looked faster than he did last year. Athletically, he looked faster. He looked quicker, to be honest with you. He looked quicker, and that's something that you're going to want to see because at times the pocket's going to break down, and we are going to want to see him play hero ball. We just don't want him to start the foundation,
right?
Hero ball. But yeah, he looked faster. He looked like he was more in depth. I was at the barbershop Friday, and one of my partners up there asked me what my thoughts were of the season. And one of the things that I said to him, because it's so little things to create content about during the preseason and training camp. And, it's been a lot of Caleb this, Caleb that, Caleb this. And my thoughts, and this is just my thoughts, I want Ben Johnson to break Caleb. Like, there's no reason to bring in someone who we believe is an offensive coaching savant and Ben Johnson, and you don't want him to rip Caleb to the studs while Caleb is still basically a rookie. He played one season, but he's still a young quarterback. This isn't the same scenario where you have Jared Goff and you're trying to fix and connect Jared Goff. This is basically a raw kid, and it's a better opportunity to do some things and ingrain some things. So with them giving him too much, that's what I want. I don't want to be in a situation where we're sitting there and by week 10, all the plays, most teams are caught up to all the plays, and now you're trying to bring in something new with this, compared to something that he learned, even though he didn't do it well at training camp. So I was happy to kind of hear that he was fucking up, to be honest with you. I'm not saying that I want to hear him mess up throughout the season. I think it's going to take some weeks. I don't think like this series, this first series yesterday, is going to be the end all be all. But the reason that I wanted Ben Johnson to be the Bears head coach was to make sure that this kid can be a great, if not extremely good quarterback. So like a lot of the hate nationally and even here, to me, it didn't make as much sense talking about Caleb and what Ben Johnson, I hope, brings to Caleb's game in the future.
Yeah, he looked comfortable. He looked in control. He looked like he got it. He looked yesterday. I anticipate him looking the start of 2026. He looked like he walked in. The cadence was good. His ability to get in and out of the huddle was good. His feet were beautiful. All right, he was on time. He got that ball out. And the one accurate. And the one thing that I've been saying, get the ball to your God-blessed playmakers. I don't give a shit if you could throw the ball 60 yards to Tyler Scott or to Roma Dunze. Get it to them on a slant, a curl, a hitch. Let them do it. We got yak monsters. And he kept hitting those guys. He got the deep seam to Cole Kmet in the cover 2. That was beautiful. Right up. He coasted Loveland. He distributed the ball very well yesterday, and that had me really, really excited.
Let me piggyback on that. If the biggest thing, and you've seen this with Detroit, is you want to keep the ball matriculate, and you want to stack plays, because the big plays that come once you stack in plays, because the defense are going to be on their heels. So that's what you want to see. You want to see them, like you said, dog, we don't have to have a big play. If we can get 7 yards, then we can get 10 yards, then we can get 7 yards, and we can get 15 yards. Dog, we're gonna run out of field soon enough and be in the end zone. That's what really
100 yards long.
That's what offenses do. And all that, one thing that we haven't really said, with the passing game working the way that the passing game was working, then we know one of those safeties isn't going to be in the box. And now we're talking about the running game being exploited. And that, like, the biggest thing, and I know it's beating a dead horse, and I've talked about it when you're talking about Kyle Shanahan, I talked about it when you talk about Ben Johnson. Running the ball dominance to consistently win playing football. I know most offensive geniuses think they have to show their brilliance through the air, running the ball dominance. And if they continue to play like this, we know what Ben Johnson's formula is. And his formula is to ground and pound and also get big gashes. We saw what he did with Jahmyr Gibbs while he was the OC in Detroit. Now, the Bears don't have the talent just yet of what that two-back system of Gibbs and Montgomery, but you still got some good backs back there. You know, you got a fast back and you got some durable guys back there. So, again, I'm interested to see the pass rush. You know, like I'm really interested to see what that does. I'm interested to see how left tackle goes. I'm interested to see, and I mean, not to say that he wasn't a good player before coming here, but now, you know, money-wise, Dahlman, you're paid like the best, if not one of the best centers in the league. Yeah, and I'm interested to see how he carries that. Not saying I expect him to fail, but there's still, even as well as he played in Atlanta, there's still another factor of stepping up because now you're being paid like one of the men on that team. And yeah, you have Tooney there, but you're still paid, and you're the center too. That's a leader position. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, and I'm happy. I was talking about this at the barbershop. Look, guard to guard, we know we got to see if Jackson get back to how he was in Detroit. But guard to guard, you got to be happy with what they got. Guard, look, Darnell Wright, it's another year. Hopefully he takes another step. The pedigree is there. The potential, I should say, is there. Left is going to be a question. I was looking at the comments. It seemed like people was mad that Ozzie isn't starting right now. I don't think that was the motive all the way. I think, one, you were worried about if Braxton was going to be able to come back, but I don't think you're going to take a kid that played right majority of the time and just throw him out there when, even if I don't think none of us are like, I don't dislike Braxton as a person. I think he's stable. I just don't, I would like him to be more of my swing tackle than my guy that's starting at left. But look, I wish I could go and get Anthony Munoz and kick him in the lab and throw him out there, but I can't. So it's a lot of things that I could desire that you can't necessarily have. A lot of teams wish they had a great left tackle. The reason they get paid so much is because it's a rarity to have a great left tackle. But compared to in the past, the holes that, you know, like a lot of times I will come on this show and in all fairness, we could be like, well, what do you want to fix? There's a lot of things that you need to fix. And there's a lot fewer things when you're talking about it'd be nice to have somebody. I mean, again, there's potential. I know Booker got nicked up, but we saw the growth. Booker was playing against twos last night, but you still see a kid that wasn't a full product coming out of college. And you see him using his hands the way that he's been using his hands. And that's one of the things you like to see with the kid that's a fast kid, not just trying to use speed. You want to see him come up and have a move or two. I like to see that, you know, in the line outside of left tackle, we used to be sitting here talking about, man, they need a guard. You know, think about how many things they need a center. That was like, we've been saying that for years. And now you need a left tackle. Maybe you need another. You can always have another edge rusher. So I'm not going to say that they found their edge rusher, but still, at least they have bodies that before we was wishing on a star. You know what I'm saying? It was like, man, I hope so-and-so plays well this year. Compared to now, it's a more likelihood that they will be able to create pressure. I saw you talking about my guy. I've been a huge Billings fan. I thought his first year, they underutilized him by being like he's more of a run stopper. He was collapsing pockets his first year when he came over from the Raiders here. I'm happy that he's healthy because now when you're talking about that tackle rotation, you're talking about Jerry, you're talking about Billings, you're talking about Dexter, you got bodies in there that can sit there, and we know the quickest way to get something is a direct line. And now you have guys that can collapse the damn pocket to add to Montez Sweat's, hopefully, stepping up because he hasn't played as well. I know lines have been shifted. I know that offensive have keyed on him. There's still some stuff that he can do, just destroying an offensive lineman to try to create more pressure, so I like it. There's nothing that I dislike so far, I can say, from watching the past 2 preseason games. We still have to get to the season. But I think the Bears are in good hands, but that's hope springs eternal, and that's me talking before I've actually seen them play a live game against an NFL team with the lights on, which we'll see, of course, Monday night versus the Vikings.
3 weeks from today, and guys, we're joined by Kenneth Davis. He is the former host. He's a Bears analyst and former host of the Under Center podcast and the host of that Davis show, talking Bears football here on ShawnSierraSports on Sports Zone Chicago. I really liked the run game yesterday. Really, really liked it. And to me, that's the key. Talk to me about that. We had three rushing touchdowns. Britton Brown had one. Ian Wheeler had one. Britton Brown had two. Was it Brown 1 and Ian Wheeler 2, or Ian Wheeler 2 and Brown 1? But the fact that we were able to punch it in the ground, talk to me about that. Ian Wheeler had 2. Britton Brown had 1. Yeah. Talk to me about that and the and how the significance of how important that's going to be if we can continue just to pound that ball, and that's what that's going to do for Caleb.
It's an attitude, one. So look at this. Okay, let me go to what you're saying. It's good to see Wheeler doing it because I think we all had an affinity from him from watching Hard Knocks last year, and for him to get hurt, it's good to see him healthy. It's good as an organization to kind of plant those seeds around the league that you're one of those teams that you bring in a kid that isn't this undrafted, and you invest in him and you still give him another opportunity. That's good. It's good to see. Also, he has potential, right? Brown, they picked him up, looked good, but neither one of these guys, I don't think of right now, we look at as being the starters or maybe even the second tailback. Maybe they could jump and leapfrog and become over Roschon and become the second guy. But the point being is more of look at the fact that how they use the run. A lot of problems with Eberflus and even with Matt Nagy was the disconnection between the run game and the pass game. Now, with Nagy, it just didn't make sense. With Eberflus, they didn't really have a plan with the passing game to complement how well they could run the ball when Justin was healthy. You know what I'm saying? Like they didn't. Like there were ways, and we could talk about where there were limitations through the offensive line. There was limitations to where they had brought Justin. There was limitations just with what Justin was at that point. But you still had the best running game in the league, and you really didn't take advantage of it. Like particularly where you had guys in the box. There's going to be open seams right there. You had a good tight end, even though he may not be great. Even then, with Cole Kmet, there were things that you could have done. But the thing when you look at what Ben Johnson does, and this isn't just from here, this is historically with Ben Johnson. He's using the run game to set up other things. And he's using the run game to take time off the clock and to dominate and beat up on the damn defense. So for me, one thing I was looking at was the line getting off. You know what I'm saying? And that to me is what you want to see. Like, because the backs, I don't know if those guys are really going to be out there. Again, like I said, it's good to see Wheeler out there, but it's the attitude of running the ball. It's the attitude of, we're on the goal line. We didn't get it in. Guess what? Put your string straps on because we're coming right back over there this way. We're going to get the ball in there. That's what you want to see them doing. At times in the past, if they got stifled on the goal line, they would try again. Yeah, they would this way. They would try again and fail. Then they would do a stupid pass play. Look, then they would do something out the shotgun, right? Like it's just like, and if you were on the goal, then they would do something out of shotgun. Where again, you're not creating an attitude. It's like anybody that's played any sport on any level. If this is what we do, yeah, you may have stopped us, but guess what? We do this. So good one, you got us. Then we come again, and then what does that start to build? Doubt, because now the first time you got us, the second time we got you. So now if we get down here again, you're gonna remember that we got you, and that's the thing that. And
God forbid you get them again, because then now it's really
that's what you and then we're talking about. And I know a lot of guys here are old, but some of the young guys may not know. Just when we were kids, like my dad raised me, he would talk about that running back. His job is definitely to score and do everything. But it's to tire that defense out, because then in the fourth quarter, he's going to be able to do whatever he wants to. And they're not probably going to tackle him depending on how furious of a running back he is. So like, that's like, with all the numbers and analytics and how it's easier to pass the ball in the NFL, the NFL is built on the passing game. The fundamentals still are very important, essential, I should say, right?
Yeah.
Like, you still see, tell me the last 5 to 10, the last 10 Super Bowl winning teams that at times, most of them are really good running teams, but even if they weren't, they were situational running teams. They were teams that you would view, like, look at Kansas City, where Pacheco came on. You know, look at them. They had Kareem Hunt. Like, you would think Kansas City's a passing team, but they haven't been a crazy offense in almost 3 seasons now. You know what I'm saying? Like, they've had to, because one, when people went back, when they had a Tyreek Hill, people start playing everything back, right? So that took away a lot of what they used to have. Then Tyreek Hill was gone, and they had to start trying to find new things to try to open up. They still haven't found something just like what they had in him, but still, it's just one of those things that if you build the mentality of we're getting off this bad boy running, it's going to always work wherever you're at. Even the days where Caleb isn't turnover prone, but Caleb has a bad first half. That run game is going to open up the second half and give the Bears opportunity, and also keep the opposing team's offense off the field to give them opportunities if you stop them from scoring because they can't be on the field.
That mentality you're talking about is so paramount. And I see it. I see it with this team. I see it with the attitude of the offensive linemen. I see it. It's like we're gonna punch you in the mouth, and even it's a boxing match, and you're gonna get some licks in. That's cool, but guess what? I'm gonna get a hell of a lot more licks in than you do, and that's what got me just watching those running backs pound the ball in yesterday. It was the hair on my arms was standing up, bro. It was just wonderful to see. Saw the play action pass by both those guys. I was really excited about that. Talk to me about the tight ends. Tight ends had a huge role yesterday. And Jesus Christ, is anyone going to cover them, or is that just Ben Johnson scheming these mother hubbards open? Because Cole was open in the team shot. Colston Loveland had a nice catch, had a couple of nice catches. These tight ends are going to get some work.
I want to say this before the tight ends, and this isn't. I'm not going to give Ben Johnson all the credit for this. This is the players, but also I'll give Matty Berfus some props. You also see it with the wide receivers when it comes to the blocking. You saw with a rookie in Luther Burden and how he came across and hit that DB. You always see it in Moore, and you definitely see it in Roman Dunze, that you got guys like these aren't guys usually when they replay long runs, guys that aren't doing anything when the camera catches them downfield. Usually they have their hands on guys, blocking guys. Now to the tight ends, dog, this is what we've talked about. You know what I'm saying? I'll say it. I was a Ty Warren guy. Ben Johnson knows more about what works for his offense than I do. So I have the Colston Loveland thing doesn't bug me. They were both high rank tight ends coming out. I'll say this. One, it's the scheme, Shawn, because Colston Loveland was showing and popping. So of course defenses are going to sit there and bracket over to whatever Loveland's at, and it's going to open up depending on what linebacker. Now you may have the slow linebacker playing on Cole Kmet. You know what I'm saying? You may have the strong side guy over there because you're like, well, he's just probably out here blocking anyway, or the ball isn't necessarily going to go to him. But I'll say this though, and Cole Kmet's a versatile, good tight end. He's not great, but he's a pass catcher that can block too. And a lot of guys can't necessarily do both in this NFL. But Colston Loveland is going to get open just because he's Colston Loveland. Like he's more of a receiver type. He's a Dallas Clark. I think he's bigger than what Dallas Clark was when he's playing for Indianapolis, but he's much more of he's a bigger guy than like an Evan Ingram. He's more of a tight end than I would think of closer to a tight end. None of these guys are supreme blockers, but he's much more closer to an inline blocker than Evan Ingram will ever be. But he's a guy where you can see he can get himself open by his route running. He can get himself open by his athleticism. So it's going to be mismatches up to galore with him. Like, just, again, you're going to be in 12, but you're basically going to be in 11.
Yeah.
Because, guess what? We came out here as he's on the line. Now we're going to flex his ass out. right? Now, wish you had another DB, you know what I'm saying? Because if you came out in a base 4-3, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be on your head, like that's where having this kid, and that's where it's gonna open up so much for Caleb, because we know tight ends are our quarterback safety blanket, and you got two good ones, and you got a young kid who could be very good. I'm not gonna say great because I'm a Bears fan, and I know we opine for this, but let's wait. Let's see what he can do. But you see, physically and skill-wise, you can see why. I just hope he stays healthy. You can see why, because I worry about, and this isn't even a coasting thing, I worry about how people are going to try to tackle him. Like just watching thing, I worry about how, because
that first hit he got yesterday was right to the knees. I was like,
exactly how, and it was a drag down because he's so big. So guys are going to be falling off of him and still trying to pull on him. Now I'm thinking it's going to be like Bo Jackson, but you get there's more injuries where you're trying to rip through a tackle. You know what I'm saying? And even though like we get on tackling not being as good as it was 20 years ago, guys don't want to let you play them. They want to hold, even if it's a shoestring, a guy's going to try his best to hold on to you. So that's really more of my fear with coasting. But I mean, dog, they tight end tandems, they got to have one of the best on paper, because we still have to see what coasting does. We still have to see if we can get back to where Cole was a couple years ago, where he had one of his better seasons as far as receptions and touchdowns. But I think we know it's probably going to be better because you have an offensive-minded head coach who's going to scheme them open. And also, forget the scheme, they're going to be the damn hot route when things go wrong. Like that's the thing to remember. Like, yeah, it's definitely the running back if the play breaks down or everyone's guarded, but it's also going to be the fact that the tight end is going to be there over the middle. It's going to probably be a mismatch. Like, even with Cole, it's a mismatch because of how big he is to compare to whoever's good. Like some DBs, it's like, what's a DB going to do if Cole is blocking them out? So their receiving core, and I'm including the tight ends with this, is one of the better ones on paper than that we've really ever had. Like, and we could argue, like we could go back to Jeffries,
Marshall.
Thank you, Marshall and Bennett, right? And also, what was Zach? What's the kid that got hurt? The tight end that got really hurt with the Saints.
Zach Miller.
Zach Miller, right? That was a nice little little core right there, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was a nice core.
Matt Forte in the background to kind of.
Right. Oh yeah, and that takes actually that. If you throw Matt Forte, then they win. All right, you got me with that one, Shawn. Let's pull Matt Forte out of there, right? That's a different beast. When you talk about pass catching running backs, let's take Matt Forte out of this discussion, all right? But if we're talking about tight ends, this tight end core is as good as that one. Probably, I would give them a little bit ahead because with Zach Miller, you knew he wasn't blocking. You know what I'm saying? I think sometimes Colston's going to be more of a blocker. I will give Marty. I'll put Marty over Cole Kmet, but I think that's where the watch comes out. But I think really when you talk about the receivers and you add in what you think Luther Burden's going to be, that's where it kind of pushes them ahead of that tandem that they had before with Jeffries and T.O. Part 2.
It's really good coming on here talking about a lot of positives. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And it really is, because we've been bitching and moaning for so many years about so many things and so many necessities. And yesterday we just saw a lot of good. All right. We are nowhere near a finished product. Okay. But man, we are light years ahead of where we were the last couple of years. And that's a good thing as Bears fans to see, because we're only going to get better. If our offense can look on a consistent basis anything like that opening drive yesterday, Lord have mercy.
Well, why would okay? So this is me, and hope springs eternal. I'm gonna be honest. Again, I've wanted Ben Johnson to be the Bears head coach for 2 seasons, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think when you're talking about now, Matty Berflus was a defensive head coach, so let's move him out. Let's just focus on Matt Nagy. We knew Matt Nagy wasn't calling plays in Kansas City, right? We know Ben Johnson, that was his offense that he had up in Detroit, all right? So not to say that there won't be failures because he's still a rookie head coach, right? He's still a rookie head coach that had an up-and-coming exceptional head coach in Dan Campbell to sometimes tell him no. That was Dan Campbell's team, right? So when Dan Campbell being the tight end, knowing both sides of the ball, but he comes from offense. So let's not just poo-poo and shit on Dan Campbell like he's nothing. Dan Campbell is part of the reason this coaching staff was probably built the way it was because of what Ben Johnson saw Dan Campbell do to build his coaching staff and said, I want something similar. And that's why you see a lot of former players on his coaching staff because he saw how it benefited Detroit in those position rooms, right? But I think that you really do have one of the smarter offensive minds. And I'll say this, a smart football mind. I saw up here, you guys were talking about the coordinators, the position guys, Declan, OC coordinator, and Al Harris, defensive back coach, taking over in the second half. And one of the things that I thought was that's an invitation for jobs right there. Like that's one thing, because what you're saying is, when these guys leave, this is what I do for you. You know what I'm saying? Like that way you keep turning over and you getting better people to come in. But one of the problems with the Bears, and we used to always say this, Shawn, we used to argue about this sometimes. What will happen if we get so-and-so, he's a good offensive coordinator, then he's going to leave? I'd be like, dude, if he leaves, hey, that's like I don't want to date her because she may go. You never want none of that? I'm just like, hey, she may go anyway. So, but this is the point that I'm really trying to get to is this. That fear that we had, you don't necessarily have it because your head coach is your OC coordinator. Now, I'll say this, and this is if things work out well when it comes to Ben Johnson. If things work out well, he's going to bring in guys that can show him things about offense, and he can add that to his repertoire, and then those guys are going to leave. But one thing that the Bears hadn't had is a great offensive mind, and that we hadn't had to worry about somebody taking, because usually the Bears have defensive-minded head coaches. So I think that's one of the pluses about having someone who we believe is one of the smarter OCs and head coaches in football right now. So, I mean, dude, I think the vibes are good. I think this is going to be a hard season because they're going to be learning. I think you have to remember everyone's learning a new offense. This isn't a situation where Ben Johnson has been here for 2 or 3 years and only the quarterback is learning a new offense. So even in that situation, the wide receivers, the low linemen, the running backs, everybody can help the quarterback because they know the offense. No, outside of Swift, basically, and Jackson, guys are learning this offense. Now they're pros, but it's still going to take time to learn it. And also, this is more of an offense than they even had in Detroit because this is totally Ben Johnson. So this is some stuff that he's been wanting to do probably. And he's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to do this because he wasn't the head coach in Detroit. So I would say give him a second. Give them a second to figure everything out. But you have a head coach that plays to his team's strengths. This isn't a guy who, you know what? I'm the type of guy where I play in trips all day long. And even though my wide receivers is trash, we still gonna be in. No, this is a guy that's like, you know what? If 12 is best, look. I'm sure this is a guy that if they're in a situation when those tight ends get hurt, right? Yeah, we'll go to 11, and we're gonna find ways that we can sustain and win playing in 11 and do whatever. Like this is more of that kind of guy than Matt Nagy, than Shane Wildren, than what's the name that left that came from the kid that came from Green Bay. That went to be the OC coordinator for the Raiders last year.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, that dude.
Oh, yeah,
him over there, right? Him. Like, no, this is a guy that builds his offense to the strength of what he has in the cover board. Like sometimes you don't have caviar. You can't be like, man, we gonna make this and you better come up with something else because thank you, Getsy. Appreciate it. And Getsy's ass.
Luke Getsy. Right?
Yeah, Luke Getsy. So like, no, this dude, you got you a guy. But let's pump the brakes because it's gonna take a second. I don't think it's funny because I was debating somebody, a former coworker was talking trash about the Vikings game. And it's funny because he wasn't a big fan of JJ McCarthy. And I'm like, you didn't JJ McCarthy or whatever. But I just think the Bears are going to have a lot better chances during the season, in the middle, towards the back end of the season, because you have a better coaching staff and you have better players too. Let me also say this. The Bears' former coaches, well, Nagy did, but Flus didn't have this much. You know, like even if you look at what they did with the receivers last year and all, the trenches have always been questionable since Ryan Poles has been here till this season. Like now you have one hole on each line. Now they've had multiple holes. They never had a 3 technique guy. Like, so even when we're saying they need another edge rusher, they never had someone who's already been very good at 3 technique. They've never had that, right? Even regardless if he's long in the tooth, we know Jared can play the 3 tech. We know, look, he may not have 40 snaps, but we may get 25 nice snaps out of him. You know what I'm saying? 20. But you know you got a dog that can penetrate up the gap. All right. You know you got that guy, right? They didn't have that. They didn't have guards. Think about that. Like,
oh my God, yeah.
Plural guards. They didn't have guards. Tell me, like, they didn't, because Cody Whitehair, we all knew Father Time was always chasing Cody Whitehair's ass. That Cody hasn't been Cody in years. So they didn't even have. And listen, I'm always gonna have a little spot in my heart for Tevin Jenkins. Tevin Jenkins couldn't stay on the field. And look, this is the coaching staff's fault. Had regressed from his rookie season, basically. So like they didn't have guards, man. So like a lot of stuff, and of course I'm gonna give props to Ben Johnson because I think his influence is part of the reason that Poles made sure that those things are better than what they were in the past. But they didn't have that, so they should be a better team moving forward.
Yeah,
I think no. See, my thing right there. No, I think you're going to look at the fact that starting, in all fairness, I would still have Billings out there with probably Jared. And, you know, like, and then Dexter has to get that time. And don't forget, Dexter's versatility allows him to play both. So what you probably would want to do is have Dexter come out there and subplant Grady, but also depending on what type of down it is, even though I said it, I think Billings is good, collapsing the pocket. But if we're talking about penetration, you may want to bring in Dexter. But I think they didn't give Grady Jarrett that money not to be the 3 technique. You didn't give him that. You gave him that to play the position that he's been playing.
And he's been doing one hell of a job. He's excited. And the thing is, his leadership, I think is going to rub off very well. Rub off, no pun intended.
Yeah, you can see that. You can see that.
Yeah,
you can see that's part of the reason they brought. He's a locker room guy.
Yes,
that's one thing that you look at Montez Sweat. Montez Sweat is not a talkative leader.
No, he's not. Dude, he didn't want to talk to me after the games. Like, damn, dog, just.
And how disrespectful is that? And it's one of those things that you can only lead so much from the backfield. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't. Like I'm sure you had Jalen in there. You had Bojack when Bojack got back on. You know his career back straight before he got hurt. But dog, when we talking about that front 7, you're gonna need somebody up in that front 7, or if we just say front 6 because they playing in nickel, you're gonna need somebody up there to call to call the shit to shit. You know what I'm saying? Like for real. Like dog, you ain't doing what the fuck you need to do. You need to bring your ass on. Like, let's go. You go, and that Jared is more of one of those guys because even when you look at the linebackers, Edwards probably is, but you can see Edmonds is not. You can see Edmonds is more of a follow what I do. I'm gonna do what I need to do type guy. But you need somebody outside of the coaches to galvanize that front 6, that front 7. And that's what bringing in somebody like Grady Jarrett, a dog. And the thing is, Grady Jarrett isn't, because sometimes guys can come in there and be dogs as far as trying to lead, but if they never done it, after seconds, you'd be like, man, shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Like, particularly if they're not showing it on the field, you're gonna be like, there he go again. You know what I'm saying? Compared to someone who's showing you like, nah, dog, I've done this and I can continue. You see, I'm still doing this. So get on my back and I'm gonna show you how to do this if you want to play as long as I've played in this league.
Ben Johnson, first year as a head coach, first victory as a head coach. It's always fun when you get your first hit, first homer, first win as a coach. Talk about overall how you feel he handled the situation. It was week 2, so it wasn't his first game as a coach. But tell me how you think he handled the game against the Buffalo Bills.
I haven't seen so far, this is a small sample size, some of the technical errors like clock management that you've seen in the past. The Bears really haven't had a great clock manager since take control of the clock has moved more of a factor in the mid to late 90s. Like Lovey wasn't great at the clock. Eberflus wasn't great at the clock. Matt Nagy wasn't great with the clock. I think and that's part of the problem when you, and I know Nagy is, but when you're a defensive guy instead of an offensive guy, because offensive guys really have to manage the clock more because usually you're trying to either stop someone from scoring or score. So that's the thing. I don't see some of the technical errors, but it's small. It's a small sample size. So I gotta just be honest. I have to see it in stressful situations during the game. I have to see it when they're down. I have to see it when they have leads and they're trying to make sure that they can keep the lead. But I do believe just right now they're being structurally, I believe they're better. And I'm putting this on Ben Johnson. I think Ben Johnson created a great coaching staff. I really like Dennis Allen, one being his defensive coordinator, but also being that former head coach that can whisper in his ear, that can tell him something. You know what I'm saying? I think bringing it. I like the fact that you brought in a guy that the defense plays up more than just letting the offense do what it wants to do and hopefully that it can contain or a bend but don't break, and hope that you can get pressure from the front four. I like the fact that we're going to find out, with these DBs, who's who. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to play now that you're not going to have that zone protection that you used to have. There's going to be more of that's your guy. Now you got to make sure that, he doesn't get open. I just think Ben Johnson was the best candidate. Like that. It's funny because I had into a lot of debates with people telling me that he would never come here. And to me, it made the most sense because if you take away the fact that the Bears have been hamstrung by being inefficient and being a broken or moribund franchise, I thought this had the most. You had the quarterback, you had the cap flexibility, you got the city. A lot of these other cities, I mean, in all fairness, do you really want to live in like that? You know what I'm saying? Like, look, one thing you could say, our winners suck, but look, they haven't sucked the last few years. Shout out, but anybody that has to shovel, these last winters has been straight, right? I used to pay people to shovel. I haven't the last 2 years, and it almost got me last year. I almost fell out last year, so I gotta be careful. But that was one time. But again, when you're talking about one of the best cities to live in, take sports out of it. One, it's a great sports city. So if you enjoy sports, you have all the major sports. But also, it's the best food city probably in the country, right? If you like food, like, dude, for me, I was having this conversation. Like, I don't understand why anyone goes to franchise Mexican restaurants and you live in Chicago. Like, it's too many. I don't even have to go to a Mexican neighborhood to get good Mexican food, but there's too many Mexican. Like, why would I? Like, I'm blessed to have all these wonderful Mexican cooks. And I'm going to go to Chipotle or Taco Pros. Like, nah, bro. I'm going to go over here. Like, and this not even the top. I'm not even talking about great cuisine yet. We're not even talking about, I'm just saying like regular stuff. Great Italian food, like great Indian food. You can go like, it's just anything that you want eating is here. Sports it's the greatest summer city probably in the country, right? Yeah. You have a Midland Ocean, right off the downtown, bro. Right, that's not a lake. Like, look up, really. I mean, it's just talking about size-wise proportion. That thing is huge. All right, so you telling me outside of the franchise hasn't won enough, and that to me, this is another thing. That's calls on a dude being like, I'm gonna be him, because if you him here, dog. If Ben Johnson wins in Chicago. No, any job, any franchise, any network, you know what I'm saying? Like, do you know how many doors will forever be open to him? Look at what Mike Ditka did with winning. Mike Ditka just got off TV like 5-6 years ago, right? Had won in 85, bro, right? You talking about that's 40 years ago, right? 40 years ago, just got off. So 35 years later, he was still eating off of that.
And that's before we had the internet. And again, the Bears, that 85 Bears is different because if the internet was like they were like the internet was out. That's how big they were as far as the iconoclast. But dog, you win here. Now, and I'm not saying this because I'm a Chicago fan. You see nationally when the Bears are good, even when the Bears look, let's let you know. Remember when Nagy got the Bears good that first year? And everybody nationally, you see Stephen A. Smith and everybody talking about them on First Take. And then everybody expected the Bears to be good the following year, so they still was following. And then the Bears was bad, but they knew that they were a national story, so they kept following it. Then it was Justin. Oh, they got Justin. Then it was like, it's not working because the Bears moved the needle. So imagine if you're doing well with them, how the needle is going to be, right? Like, listen, fuck that Cowboy shit. I'm serious with you. If you're talking about the Bears make it to 2 Super Bowls and win 1, all right? You're right. Buka. But, you know, I'm not saying this, it's huge. We see this, everybody here sees around the world where Bears fans are because of the 85 team. Like, most of this is because of the 85 team, right?
Yeah.
But you could guess these people's age range, but you see it, and then, of course, those people have dropped it into their kids or friends or whatever. So it's just like for him to be like, people like, man, he should go be with Tom Brady with the Raiders. I'm like, dog, who the hell? What, you know how long it's going to take to build up the Raiders if it works, and you banking on Tom Brady doing something he's never done before? Tom Brady can pass the fuck out of a rock, all right? Greatest quarterback ever. He's never built a franchise. Like, it's just one of those things, like, let's be honest. Look, also, let me break it even back to Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson's not going to be able to tell Tom Brady everything. This is Ben Johnson's, in all fairness. This Ben Brian Poles, Ben, what do you want? Do you need? You good? All right. Like, you can't do that with, and like that. And to me, what other place was you going to go? You going to go to Jacksonville? Like where? Like just like the Jets? Like, where were the options that you're telling me? And this is just take away the fact you had Caleb here. And clearly he likes Caleb. Like clearly he sits there. He didn't come out. Think about it. Do you think, and now that we have this, and of course he wanted to run it back with Detroit, see if they can win the championship. Do you think if they fired Matt Eberflus the year before and the Bears had the #1 pick and Ben Johnson knew he could come in here and pick his quarterback, that he wouldn't have been like, you know what, I'm about to leave because that spot is open and I want to go. We know he wants to come here because you know why? Because he fucking came. All right, like he saw. Think about it. If you see, and this, look, I love Detroit, and I love my friends from Detroit that we talk shit to each other. I'm serious. I love Detroit or whatever. I was talking to a friend of mine who has a sports show for Baylor down south with 360. He loves to come to Chicago or whatever. And he was slightly dissing Detroit, even though it was like he was cool. Listen, Detroit was once the jewel of the Midwest. All right. If you like Chicago, you'll like Detroit. All right. They're similar. Right. But if Ben Johnson saw how Dan Campbell ignited a dead franchise in the Lions, it has a great fan base. Right. You got, because there's a lot of people in Michigan. Right. Has a great fan base. And you know that the Bears is 5 times better than that, if not tenfold. Right. In Chicago. And the city's better. Right. And you're like, wait, I see what happened here. If I go over there, it's going to be crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, dog, people think like that. And then people, again, poo-pooed on me for saying he probably thinks like that. And he showed he thinks like that. And it's not crazy because, to me, again, I think Caleb will succeed. But if Caleb isn't as great as what we hope he can become, I think you still got the best part is the head coach that may be great. Because if Ben Johnson is great, it's gonna work. We're straight for a decade. And again, I'm talking about there's gonna be ups and downs, but if he's a great coach, but a great offensive mind, dog, we've never had that. Like, that's the thing you gotta, we've never had someone who could scheme something game by game. Think about that. Game by game, right? Someone, and a lot of people that don't pay attention, well, it was a lot of trickery. It wasn't a ton of trick. He's tricky. Don't get it twisted. But it's a guy who can also pull a rabbit out the hat on your ass. Like, see, the problem before, you would have a guy that likes to pull a rabbit out of his ass, but he don't even like to run the football. He doesn't play foundational football. This guy likes to do some razzle dazzle, but he likes to punch you in your mouth. See, the problem, most razzle dazzle guys just like to do tricks through the air. This guy likes to punch you in the face, right? And that's what that's what to me has always been like, okay, regardless of how the season may have ended for Detroit, I think this guy's a guy that could really help Chicago. So again, hope springs eternal. I'm a Ben Johnson guy. I just said that. I just made my declaration clearly even more. I'm a Ben Johnson guy. I just think Ben Johnson is the right coach in mind, and I think he's going to be one of. He's already shown. Let me say this: he's already shown he's one of the bright offensive mind. His team has led the league in scoring 2 years in a row. You think they wouldn't have figured out how to stop them the second year? Like, everyone has tape. You know what I'm saying? Everyone knew the Lions were the team to go after in the NFC. So it's not like they snuck up on someone. Everyone, forget we knew 3 years ago, oh man, the Lions got something cooking, right?
Yeah, they're going to be good in a while. Remember when we said Detroit doesn't Detroit themselves anymore?
Right. Like, dude, so we've seen it coming. So this wasn't just like 1 year he popped out.
This was
several years. This was
Milli Vanilli.
No, exactly. And that was just totally fraudulent. But no, so like that's where, to me, again, it's gonna be some bumps because he still has to learn. He has not been in that seat. Regardless of how I have affinity for Ben Johnson, he has not sat in the seat of the head coach. He has not had to deal with some of the issues in the locker room. He has not had to deal with some of the issues with ownership. He has not had to deal with some of the issues of the general manager. He's had to deal with some of the issues with people it's not even football stuff that he's had to, because he's been insulated being the offensive play caller. So there's a lot more to this job. I think he's smart enough to handle it, but there's still going to be bumps because he hasn't done it before.
Yeah, I agree, but I'm really excited about where it's going. I'm really excited about this new culture that Ben Johnson's created. I think he's got a real big influence in the acquisition department as far as drafting.
He does, yes.
And I think that's the thing that I'm excited about, because he knows what talent he needs for his offense. You don't rely. Just listen, Ryan Poles. You're GM. You're kind of taking shots in the dark. No. Let me tell you what I need for my offense specifically. Now you go get it. And he's done it. And that's why I get so excited. I'm very excited because this isn't going to stop. Like, Ben Johnson's still going to say, okay, here's what I need.
That's what I'm saying. That's what that's my point. This isn't just a 1 year thing. Dog, he's going to figure out stuff that he's never figured out before. Like, you know what I was thinking about before coming on here, and I hope he can be this good. I don't think people remember those periods where we used to question Andy Reid. Do you remember it used to be like, damn, Andy Reid, all he does is focuses on his running back. Remember when he had Deuce, he had Ricky Waters up there, Herschel Walker. I'm talking about back in the day,
yeah.
before Donovan got there. Then Donovan got there, and then they had the little running. No, they had the kid.
Sproles.
Remember they had that? No, before Sproles, before Sproles, they had a guy that was the offense. I forget who at the running back was. He was the offense. He could run between the tackles. Westbrook. Thank you.
Westbrook.
He is
Brian Westbrook.
Yeah, remember Westbrook, but remember that. Look, like Mitchell was the only good. They had Pinkston. Like, remember the receivers they used to have on that team. But do you remember, like, for instance, we used to hear about Andy Reid going to these colleges and studying these spread offenses, and then you see how now his offense keeps growing. Like, Andy Reid keeps finding a way. Hey, you're gonna take everything away? We're gonna do this. And again, I hope Ben Johnson can do that. I'm not saying he will be that. But I think he's that type of coaching mind. And the Bears haven't had that. They haven't had, even if we're talking about defensively, you haven't had a defensive guy that can grow his defense according to how the NFL is changing. Most of the times, they've stayed close to whatever their scheme was. And, dog, that's not how the league is. You have to adapt with the league. You know what I'm saying? And I think you have someone
of the league, because it's going to adapt.
You know, so to what you're saying, I think that's what you have, and that's why I'm so in on them, because we haven't had that, and we've had great teams, we have extremely good coaches, but we haven't had a coach that was I can scheme up game to game what I need to do. You know what I'm saying? Or let me get that quarter to quarter what I need to do.
Drive and drive. What did they do? What did they do last night? Okay, they got me here. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. Yeah, and here's the thing that I'm really high on Ben Johnson about is that he saw what Philly did. Okay, Jalen Hurts is not a generational quarterback. I don't think Caleb is either, but Caleb I think is more talented than Jalen Hurts, and that's no disrespect to Jalen Hurts by any stretch. You build a good team around Caleb. You fortify that offensive line. You don't have to have Caleb be Superman. You can just turn around and hand it to this running back.
You don't want him to.
Running back. Hit this receiver like he did Olamide Zacchaeus yesterday. Hit it to Coastal. Just make it simple for him. Literally, all I need you to do is literally be a game manager. A couple plays, you be Superman. We need you. Cool. But give it out. I need you, John Stockton. Here. Boom, boom, boom. You're a stud. You get it. You go. You're a stud. You get it this time. You go. You're a stud. This time. You go.
I'm gonna slightly disagree. I'll say this. I think I think Caleb can be more than that. I think he needs to be. I'll say this. He needs to be Clark Kent. But remember, he still does. He is Superman with the glasses on, and he still saves people. They just don't know when Clark blows or uses his heat-ray vision. Like I think, and again, because just don't forget this. Part of the reason he came here was for Caleb. Like he sees something in him, so he likes the arm talent. You know what I'm saying? He likes the mobility. You know, so there are going to be times where it's taken advantage. I think he thinks, and again, this is my opinion. So let me say that. I think there are some limitations that Jared Goff may have had that he's like, man, if I do what I did with Jared Goff with this kid, whoa. I believe that. So I don't want to just poo-poo on Caleb because Caleb has the skills. Only thing Caleb doesn't have is height. Like, if we just being honest, like his arm is nice. He has a nice arm and he has spin and whip on it. You know what I'm saying? He has arm angles and he has mobility, you know, and he just doesn't have mobility to the point where it's like, oh, he can run. No, he's looking to pass the ball using his mobility. Like he's already a guy that's mobile with his head up, like not a guy that's mobile just looking to get an extra yard on it. I'm not saying it's bad to get an extra yard, but there's a lot of plays you leave out on the field that when you break pocket that you're already like I'm running the ball. So I think there are things in Caleb that he sees because dog, it helps his career. Think about it. He could come here and fall in his face. I think that people may like him enough in the league to give him another opportunity, but you're still attaching your wagon to somebody and you damn well want to attach to something you think is going to benefit you. That's just common sense and self-preservation.
Yeah. Well, I think that by building up this team, like football's not, you can change it, you can throw all types of stuff, but the fundamentals are going to be the same. Run the ball, smack people in the mouth, play good defense. And them building this team this way is the way that the Philadelphia Eagles have built their team, the way the Baltimore Ravens have built their team. And I think it's gonna pay off in the long run because you could take out a running back and imagine if we get a running back like a Saquon Barkley. Now we're in the upper echelon of teams. So I love what they're doing. I love how they're building this, and it's gonna be fun to watch, bro.
On this, but you can go out and get that running back now.
Yeah, you can.
You don't have as many holes. So now in the draft, let's not say it doesn't have to be the first round, but you can clear the decks in the second round. It could be first round if you sit there and you see a guy we know that they were high on the kid the Ravens took from what's the name? I forget what's the Ravens running back they took. It must be Mars must be in retrograde because we're forgetting everything today.
Yeah,
but you get the point now that they filled in so many holes that you can go out. It wouldn't seem like you're wasting a draft pick.
There's not a lot of necessities. Now you can go get luxuries.
That part where the trenches have been terrible. And now you don't have to say, okay, this is the first round pick. Outside of a if a great left tackle falls to you, better fucking take him. All right. Yeah. But outside of that, dog, you don't need another tight end. You don't need to spend another first round pick on a wide receiver, right? How many linebackers, unless he's an edge rusher, how many linebackers, off the ball linebackers are you taking in the first round? You know what I'm saying? if there's a generational DB that comes out and you're like, all right, I can understand perhaps taking him, you know what I'm saying? But like, you're not taking a right tackle. You damn near should not taking a guard. You're not taking a center. Like there's they filled in so many positions that now they can finally go after things that before, when they did go after them too early, it didn't fucking make sense.
Yeah. Man, he's Ken Davis. He's my man's and them. Dude, great stuff, buddy. I appreciate it. Before you go, let everybody know where they can find you and your work online.
That Davis, appreciate you, man. Keep taking care of your mom. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out, to Mondo and Patty, but everybody, man, you all keep me going, and I appreciate coming on here and talking some shit with y'all. Everybody be safe and don't do nothing stupid before you hear from me again.
Hey, real quick, before you go, I want to let you know and invite you. I know you like to stay home and watch games all the time, but on September 14th, September 14th, we have a Sports Zone Chicago Bears watch party. They're in Detroit. They're in the D. All right, and it's going to be at Branding Iron, 71st in Harlem, right by SeatGeek Stadium.
Okay, I might pop out to that one, man. That's a straight shot.
And it's actually we're going to be outdoors, so it's a covered back. And so you want to smoke cigars? We can have some cigars back there. They got a nice little stage. They got a whole bunch of TVs all along the walls and stuff. So yeah, I'll definitely you know it.
All right, let's do that, man. I'll holler at you, man. And listen, we need to get a Sox game in before the season. Sometime before the end of September, we got to get a Sox game in.
I'll look at it. We go to Tuesday, get $5 menus.
Works for me. All right, Shawn. Be safe.
All right, bro. But guys, that's Ken Davis. He's the host of the former host of the Undercenter podcast. He's the host of That Davis Show. Man, listen, thank you for tuning in. 2 hours is come and gone. I want to thank Ken for coming on, man. Great stuff. Great Bears talk. Great Bears win yesterday. Remember that. I'm excited. You're excited. Now let's build it. Now let's stack. All right, let's stack wins. Let's stack another good one. I get no starters are playing this Friday. I get it, and that's fine. But you know what? I want to see that. I want to see that type of intensity from these other guys. And man, 3 weeks from today, Monday night under the lights against the Minnesota Vikings on the lakefront, it's going to be great. So listen, for everyone here at Sports Zone Chicago, I'm your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra. Listen, do me a favor. Do me a favor. Let your loved ones know you love them, because tomorrow is promised to no one. All right? You saw me and Ken just make it time. That's why I invited him out. All right? I want him to come out, hang out with him, because we're going to hit a Sox game. Time moves fast, man. Let your loved ones know you love them. Make plans. Breakfast, brunch, lunch, dinner, drinks, happy hour, rooftop, patio. They're still open. Do it. You and your people will be happy that you did. That, my peoples, I can promise you. All right, listen, I'm going to replay this at 6 tonight. All right, at 12:15, Lakina and Sydney with Second City Sports are going to join you for another 2 hours of Chicago sports talk. Check it out. Make sure you're tuning into them as well. But hey, have a phenomenal next couple of days. I'll see you on Wednesday talking more Bears. I'm excited. I'm fired up, baby. I'm fired up. You saw Bears victory chain Monday. It's a Bears victory Monday. That's what I'm talking about. What a phenomenal day. All right. So for everyone here at Sports Zone Chicago, guys, I'm your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra. You guys have a phenomenal day. Guess what? Your boy is